Jack Jones waived by the Patriots. Could this be the help the Eagles need in the secondary? Dallas still stinks. Yo, by the way, Kick Dingbat here. Hope everybody's having a great day. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you're hanging in there. You know, Eagle fans don't live in delusion like the Dallas Cowboy fans. This is just a fact. Can you imagine that these guys actually think Dak Prescott is the MVP or an MVP candidate of the league? Are they crazy? The guy can't win a big game. But Eagle fans don't have that problem. And if you ask Eagle fans, realistically, what are the two biggest areas of concerns for the Eagles going forward, minus injuries? Most people would say the secondary and the depth at linebacker. And you know what? Sometimes things just happen. Sometimes things happen that will help your team that you didn't see coming, okay? The trade deadline is over, but that doesn't mean there isn't the possibility to go out and make certain moves. And we might have just got a potential gift by the New England Patriots, okay? Now you're saying, Philly, what the hell are you talking about? And I'm going to tell you what I'm talking about right after I say this. I will be streaming this Thursday night game. I believe it's the Bengals and the Ravens. Both teams coming off a loss. That's actually a good Thursday night game. Like, it's actually a decent Thursday night game. So I'm going to have to go out and I'm going to have to stream that game. So look for me to be streaming that game on Thursday. Should be a lot of fun. Can't wait. Hope to see you guys there. And yeah, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the most censored, the most throttled Eagles content creator in all of the internet. Everybody knows that. Now, get this, okay? Because I have very mixed emotions about this situation and thinking about it, okay? Mike Garofalo is reporting this. The Pound Patriots are waiving cornerback Jack Jones. His agent, J2 son-in-law, I guess, confirmed this afternoon the 2022 pick, who played 10 snaps Sunday, will head elsewhere for the next portion of his NFL career. So he's gone. They cut him. Now, when I talk about Jack Jones, we're talking about a kid with a lot of upside, a lot of potential from just a football standpoint. This kid has a lot of talent, okay? Jones was benched in Week 9 versus the Commanders. Okay, in Week 10 loss to Indianapolis, he only played 10 snaps. But in his 18 career games for New England, Jones has had 42 tackles, 7 pass breakups, and 2 interceptions. I believe one of those were for a pick 6. All right, now, they just waived this kid. Now, he's got to clear waivers, and then you have an option to possibly go out and sign him. Would I do this? I am very conflicted about this because this is a kid with a lot of talent, with tremendous talent. And this is also a kid who has had off-the-field issues. He's had, I think he was involved in some sort of burglary in college. He had a gun charge that was, I guess, later dropped for probation or something at an airport where he had it with him. Don't know the details of it, so I'm not going to speak to it too much. He has been suspended for being late. And then if you look at him overall, his demeanor on the sideline with the New England Patriots the last few weeks has been by himself, towel over his head, and you don't know where his attitude is. Is it because he's losing or what? So he has these off-the-field problems. And I got to tell you, I'm very conflicted about this because I look at it like this. Here's an 8-1 team. An 8-1 team who got through a lot of struggles early in the season, that Super Bowl hangover. They're kind of starting to roll. It's looking like they're going to get home field advantage throughout the playoffs. 70% chance. You got a chance to go back to the Super Bowl right now. Your secondary has been in shambles all season. And a lot of it is because of injury, right? I think we've only had 1 week where we've had the same starters play in consecutive weeks. So I don't know if just getting healthy, getting Kevin Byard adjusted, getting Roby back, getting Justin Evans back, getting these guys back will start to help this defense. I think it has to on some level. I really do. But if this kid clears waivers and you could bring him in just for the season, he would be an upgrade on the depth that you have in the secondary. He just would be. Okay, this kid, a lot of people think this kid has starting potential, lockdown corner potential. He has tremendous upside. But you have the off-the-field things. Would the Eagles want to deal with it? Or do they say, you know what? Let's just bring him in for 1 year. If he could be on his best behavior, we have enough leadership within the locker room to go out, bring him in, and be okay. It's not like they're going to have to sign him to huge money, and it's going to kill you against the cap, and it's a big risk. You could bring him in. If he don't work out, you could always cut him. So this is something that I think the Philadelphia Eagles have to consider. No question about it. People always call me when I'm streaming. When I'm doing a video. Always. So it's something to really think about. I do think the secondary will be better by just getting healthy and getting Kevin Byard adjusted. I do. But you got to wonder if the Eagles will look at this kid. And the Eagles are already getting linked to him, by the way, because it's like if you took the off-the-field stuff away, right? I think he was also late for a curfew before the Commanders game. That also caused problems. It's weird because they cut him, but they knew about his charges in college. They knew about the gun incident. They didn't have any issues with those things. They let it go. But they cut him, I think, because I think he's been late for curfews. I think that overall attitude probably hasn't been good. So I'm conflicted because I look at him and I say, man, you bring in a talent like that, you got to think about it. But it is what it is. And the Eagles, they've got a lot of decisions to make in general this week with their roster. You got Cam Jurgens will be ready to come back. Justin Evans will be ready to come back. Quez Watkins will be ready to come back. So you're getting guys back, and you're going to have to make roster adjustments. Now, Nakobe Dean, he's going to go to IR. I think he's done for the year, okay? And here's why I say it, because the Eagles are working out linebackers. Jacob Sports said this earlier today. The Pound Eagles hosted free agent linebacker Anthony Barr for a visit. Now, Anthony Barr visited the Eagles, and right before I did this video, he signed with the Vikings. So he's off the table. Okay, Vikings brought him back. I guess they're losing Jordan Hicks. So I don't blame him. He's going back to where it started. I get it. However, the Eagles are obviously looking for a linebacker. Okay, and really, what I think the Eagles need to figure out what to do is figure out how to use Nolan Smith. It's time to get Nolan Smith active on this team and playing a lot of snaps. This is a first-round pick. We forget he's a first-round pick. If Jalen Carter, if we didn't have that draft pick, we would all be talking every week, why isn't Nolan Smith on the field? Why isn't Nolan Smith on the field? He's got to play more. He's a first-round pick. He needs to be out there. Okay, and if you can find ways to use him off the ball, I say try it. But they definitely are worried about depth at linebacker. That's why they brought in Anthony Barr. And speaking of bringing in other guys, they also brought back for a workout Noah Togiai. Remember him, the tight end? I don't know what's going to happen to Dallas Goedert. There's some speculation, and we'll see how this goes later on in the week, but there's speculation that he may not go to IR because he's only going to need to miss 3 games, not 4, with the week of rest from the bye week. So he may end up avoiding the IR, but Grant Calcaterra could end up on the IR because of his concussion. He had concussion problems in college. That's why he walked away from the game, and now they're going to be real cautious with him. I think to replace Dallas Goedert, you need Grant Calcaterra to play. Okay, I think Grant Calcaterra is more offensive than Stahl. So I would have liked to see him, I think you could handle the loss of Goddard for a few weeks with a bunch of guys. But one of those guys had to include Calcaterra. The other guy has to include is Julio Jones. Julio Jones needs a bigger role right now for the next few weeks with Dallas Goedert out. I think offensive plays that you would use Goedert, I think you can use Julio Jones. It may be somewhat of a giveaway, in terms of blocking and stuff like that, but you got to do what you got to do. But they did bring Noah Tagai in, the tight end. So they're looking for pieces. They're looking for players. They've got some roster situations they got to figure out. We are getting some guys back. Cam Jurgens back is big. Roby is another guy that could be coming back. Quez could be coming back. How are they going to use Quez Watkins? That's what I want to know. Then, of course, Justin Evans, when he plays, he's pretty good. So I think the secondary is going to be getting pretty good. However, I don't know if any of those guys we talked about are as talented as Jack Jones. I'm just saying. And listen, I don't think there's a right answer or wrong answer. Like if you are a person that we don't need this cancer in the locker room, I totally get it. But if you're like, damn, let's bring him in for at least this year and make a run. Let's see if we can, work with this kid. I get it too, because he would be an immediate help in your secondary. He just would. Kid's talented. Now, he missed a lot of games earlier in the year because of a hamstring, but you can't deny the kid's talent. No question about it. So we'll have to see what the Eagles do. Do I expect them to claim him off waivers? No. But if he clears waivers and becomes a free agent, you never know what Howie's going to do, because they're clearly looking for defensive backs. They're clearly looking for linebackers. And this is an option that you usually don't get after the trade deadline with this kid's talent. It's the off the field and the attitude you got to worry about. And you got to wonder, do the Eagles feel they have the leadership to handle him in the locker room? That's the question. With that said, take care. Talk to you later. Of course, don't be a dingbat. And remember, it's Howie Vision. We're all just living in it. I've had a lot of people ask me since yesterday, do I really think the Detroit Lions are the biggest threat to the Eagles in the NFC? Now, listen, I think the Eagles are going to get home field throughout the playoffs. There's a 70% chance, and I definitely think they'll be fine. I don't think anybody will catch them. But if I had to say who would worry me the most out of everybody in the NFC, it's the Lions. It's the Lions. Why? Because I think the Lions, maybe they're not as talented or as complete a team as the 49ers. I like Jared Goff better than I like Purdy. I think he's better. I think they're a little more dangerous, especially from a matchup standpoint. We saw the Lions last year. They can score points. I think Detroit's more dangerous, and they got an easier schedule, and you don't go up against them. Those are the reasons why I think they're a little more dangerous. People say, well, what about Dallas? No, not scared of Dallas. We already beat Dallas. And then this talk of Dak Prescott, an MVP. Get the hell out of here. You can't be an MVP when you can't complete games and finish them against teams with winning records. He couldn't do it versus the Eagles. That was all I needed to see. Denzel Washington out.